again, it's me back for another interiors video. Again, this video will be just 2 spaces just because I take a lot of time to do each space and I make sure that it's quite detailed. So it takes a little longer than, maybe some other ones you've seen of this variety of video, but I find it really fun. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy it. And for the first space we're going into, it'll be Kendall's house. She lives in like a more industrial style home, and I feel like I've done a lot of like more like California style or like 1920s style kind of homes. So this is a different style, which is fun. Let's watch her video. Okay, so it's very open, really tall ceilings. You get the like classic industrial like ductwork is exposed. You have the metal staircase that's exposed as well. So her space is a very open concept. So you have the kitchen and then the living room right next to each other. And you can see that the living room is quite a tight little space there. And she has the TV up on the staircase, which I didn't even know you could really do that. It's kind of genius, especially with this like tight little space here. When I first watched this video, I was like, I wonder if there's some way to put the TV on this credenza over here, just because that makes the most sense to me visually, and to have the couch kind of facing that way to make it like flow a little bit better. And you could do that, and I could give some ideas as that as well, but I just have a feeling that you probably already tried that, because that kind of like would be the first initial thing to try. And I assume that like the TV would be a little too far away, and if having the TV, if that's like a really important aspect of like lounging and whatnot, which like for a lot of people it is, then I don't want to like make the TV really far away just because I feel like it would look better. So we're gonna scratch that. It was like what I was trying to do at first, and then I was like, you know what? She's very clearly telling me this is how she uses her space, so I'll take note of that. So yes, I think it's really nice. All the natural light is so beautiful, and it's just like a big open space. I also love these wooden doors, which she said this one wooden door is like, I think it's supposed to go in the pantry over here. And I really like that like natural element in the space because it's just like so white. So that was something I wanted to bring more in, is just more natural kind of warmer elements, because I think industrial style can feel kind of cold really easily because it's such an open space with a lot of like cement and metal and just a little colder. So let me show you your Pinterest board. Okay, so even though your style of space is like an industrial style building, and I think you said it was like a converted something like maybe garage, car shop, something like that. I'll have to check and see. I didn't go fully industrial style because I don't know, I don't have like as much of a connection with industrial style, so I tried to like look at it more as like more of a modern approach rather than like industrial. I don't know if that makes sense. So a lot of these are like more modern and like mid-century style, and I mean like the classic kind of like custom, original kind of mid-century with lots of wood tones, natural tones. So not the like typical mid-century that you think of now that's become like so overly done and cheap and not cute. Okay, so the first thing that really stuck out to me was that giant wall where your credenza is, and there's a big white painting above it, and I think that's nice, but I feel like it falls short a little bit just because like it's not giving a lot of like depth there, because it's just a white thing on a white wall, which I know a lot of people like that, but me personally, I want to see some more warmth in there. So I saved a lot of like bookshelves, and I think that whole wall, it would be really fun to see if you could do like floating shelves all the way up, or some sort of shelving unit all the way up, and just like fill it with books and decorative objects that you really like. And I would want to see them as like wood, so something warmer, to really like warm that space up. So I also really liked this, but this was like obviously more lower kind of profile, which I also love. Could be something fun to do under your stairs as well. And then like the layering with the sculptures and the little stool. But just some like, I just love this like, because of that like kind of like open modern style, I feel like you can do like a lot of layering, which I feel like I say in every video. The layering is so important, but just like having all your books and like little like lamps and little tables, and I feel like in a space like that, you can use it more as like not a gallery space, but more sculptural things, because you have the space to really like enjoy those. I really liked this photo, but just kind of like the artist chaos is what it feels like, kind of. But there's something just like really nice visually about all the books, and like I love all this warm leather. I do love warmer weather. Warm leather and woods and like creamy rugs. I think that's really nice. So what I would suggest, let me go back to this video. I think, so your couch that you have, I think it works fine. It does feel a little bit big for the space, just because it's such a tight little space, but it also looks super comfortable, and like if you love it, keep it. And couches are expensive, so I feel like it's workable, but it is quite big. So if it was something that you were planning on like switching out, I think something like more modular and like visually doesn't take up as much space could be nice. But I also do like this like big plush couch as well. Another thing which I mentioned in like the last video is I don't love glass coffee tables, but that's just my own thing. So I would love to see like a little like round wooden one, which I feel like would be really nice and warm and a nice contrast with the white rug. I put one on here, Pinterest board, that I really liked. This one, and you can also click on here and like look at similar versions of it. I liked this like deeper kind of stain, darker little stain. I thought that was really cute. And I feel like the roundness is kind of flows with the space better. But I also do like the narrow rectangular size of that coffee table. And it doesn't visually take up that much space because it's glass. So I do totally get what it's doing. And I don't like hate it or anything. I think it still works and it can be really beautiful. But I would love to see like wood or something. I don't know. I feel like this space wants more warmth and wood because it's so white and big and open. Also, another thing I would say is I really like this rug, but I do think for the space, sorry, let me pull it back a little, that it's a little small. It kind of makes the space feel a little cramped into that little like, oh, it's just this little living space. And I think if it just like went out a little bit further into the space, like a little bit longer and like maybe even behind the couch a little bit, that it would make the space kind of its own like defined space rather than feeling cramped, but it would feel more like open too. Because I feel like with this like counter, couch, and then the TV all together, it can feel kind of cramped. But I think playing with the like rug and definition of the space can make it feel a little bit more open, but also like defined in its own little area. And also another thing, so you have this like Marcel Brewer, I think it's like the Vasily chair, and I do like it, but it is just like pushed under the stairs and like away. I would love to see either that chair or another chair, similar size, pulled into the corner over here, at this corner of this rug, turned at an angle with like a little side table, like really fill that space in. I think sometimes people feel like it's going to be too cramped, but it will visually make more sense if you pull it into the space a little bit and angle it towards the couch, have a little table next to it, really make it like a complete space. And you might have just had that chair there because you didn't really know what to do, whatever. And then also, I feel like you need some more just like artwork overall as well. I see like a little bit over here, and I love this green one on the ground over here. I would love to see that somewhere. You could even hang it above the door. I don't know. I really like that. I feel like you need some more colors like this, and I love this wood with the green canvas. I think that's so beautiful. Just like more natural tones like that. So bring in the like colorful natural tones would be amazing. So like even here where you could put a chair, it could be like a brown corduroy, or like maybe more like a caramely color or green, something like natural toned but adds warmth and color and dimension. And then I would love to see like there's this storage unit here, this like cabinet, and I feel like you could also make it part of your space a little bit more. Just like put a little piece of like cute, I don't know, like artwork on it. Just like a simple kind of like earthy print. I can like see if I have some saved on Pinterest that I think would be cute. Just like make it a part of the space. Make it, you have that like piece of basically wall there that you could do something with. Maybe even like a little mirror. Just make it feel more personal, you know? So, okay, and then on this credenza over here, I feel like it's kind of just like a, not random, but just kind of like sparse collection of things that aren't really doing a whole lot for that wall. So again, I would love to see something more like purposeful and like customized for that space a little bit. And I think you could swap out that lamp on the credenza to really feel like because there's like the black staircase and then the white walls, it's like another black and white thing. So I would love to see something like warmer. I keep saying that. Natural, colorful, something that brings in an extra element into it. Even if it was like creamy or lampshade, I don't know, something. Let's go back to your Pinterest board. See, even like, maybe this isn't really your style, but like I love this like mauve light pink and the greens, I think, and like the caramely leather. I think that would be nice in your space. I love the like dark browns and greens with the wooden door. I feel like that's really similar to the way yours looks with the white walls and the curtains. And then I like that they have this like wooden dresser here that's kind of a different style than the rest of the furniture. It feels like more like, I don't know, English style or something. Like this is another thing you could play around with, is like having some chairs that like visually don't take up a ton of space but are still like comfortable looking and like bring in some more texture and structure, and I feel like these would be nice. And when I first looked at your space, when I was like, oh, what if we turn the couch towards the credenza and then two little chairs in front of it, and then you could somehow watch the TV above the credenza. That was before I was like, the TV is probably too far away. But you could play around with chairs like that as well. Let's see. And I just kind of like, like this kind of artwork, you know, and like, I don't know what the rest of that is. More like layery little like stools and like little lantern lights I think would be really nice in there. I loved this under the stairs, which is obviously a different style than your house, but something like that was really cute with the like striped brown and creams. And again, like I was saying before, like modular style sofa could be cool, but also like if you love lounging and watching TV, then ignore that. But you could also do like an extra chair like in the corner of that style as well. Something lower profile so you can kind of like, you know, so it doesn't take up too much space visually. And I loved this kind of like California style, which I feel like that keeps happening. Like having your plant up on like a wooden pedestal and then putting your plant, because you have that big plant, in like more of a natural stone planter, maybe a terracotta or another type of stone. Something like this would be really pretty and like quite peaceful. Again, here's like lower profile chairs, but more warmth, and I love the colors in this canvas. Sorry, I could not think of the word. But it's still like your neutral tones, but then you have some color in it. So you could play around with also the canvas that you have if you wanted to bring more color in. And then your kitchen, I don't know why, but I was looking at it. I don't think you were asking about it. There's like a little plug on the side of it, and I feel like you could put like a little lamp at the end and like play around with the styling of like that side of the island. I think that would be really pretty. Yeah, but just like, I feel like it'd be really easy to make this space really like feel complete. And I feel like it's just like a game of like collecting all the pieces that you love that you feel like would work in the space, and just like being purposeful with that collection. It's really fun. But here's like a wassily chair, like that kind of style, like the woods and the creams and I like that. Let's see if I have the amount of tabs I have from doing these is kind of crazy. But let me go to my favorites. See, like I think something like this kind of like lantern light, obviously this is really expensive because it's in a Gucci, but something like that could be nice to have around. Just like it's sculptural and it would be really beautiful up against the white walls, but it doesn't like take up too much space visually. And then like I saved another like modular sofa. I was looking at rugs, and you could play around with like if you want like a darker color. I love the pink, but I'm just very into pink right now. Or just like a larger creamy, rusty, you know, maybe even a green would be beautiful as well. Okay, don't buy this chair because I think the people who sell it are just not legit, because it's like a Togo like knockoff. But something like this style in that corner where I was saying like where the wassily chair is, but like angled towards the couch, something like that could be really cool. I just really like the color and the shape and whatnot. And yeah, I feel like your space is like, you know, I feel like it's just a few things you could bring in to really like make it feel complete. And also I can tag some or link some more different chairs and lights and stuff. But I was kind of giving just a general idea of what I thought. But I will link some more pieces if I find some more. But I feel like you got it after this. Just a little bit of direction and like bringing in more warmth, maybe a bigger rug, bringing in a little bit more color. That like bookshelf I think would be amazing. But I feel like that's good. I feel like it's going to be really cute. So if you do any of these suggestions, or if you have any questions, if you find certain things and you're like, will this work? Ask me. I am so happy to help because I find it really fun. So yeah. Okay, the next house is a Spanish style home in California, I think Santa Barbara. And it's super cute. And let me show you. It's more so what she's needing help with is the kitchen and the living space. It's a really small space. So those are like two of the most like crucial spots of the whole house. It's like basically just that and some bedrooms, I think. So let's get into the kitchen. Here is the kitchen space. This is her walking in from the living room into the kitchen. It has all these wood elements and the stone or the terracotta floors. It's very like typical Spanish style kind of kitchen. And she's renting, so I don't think she can like paint the cabinets or anything. I didn't actually ask that, but I'm assuming she can't, so we're going with that. And I love the skylight and the like vaulted, or the, what's it called? Beams on the ceiling. So it's a really nice little space. It has such good light, and I love all the natural elements to it. The little fridge just went in there, and I love this little like pocket with the little, I'm sure a microwave went in there, but I like that it's more like a spot for like a little sculpture and books. I like that. I think it's cute. So that's, and then like, so her dining space is also in her kitchen. It's a little tight, but I feel like it works, and it's like cozy, and I like a dining space in a kitchen like that when it's just like, I don't know, cute and cozy like that. Let's see, there's maybe another angle of the kitchen. This is her from walking from outside, which has a really beautiful like patio out there. And yeah, you kind of already saw this shot. But so in the kitchen, there's the blue tile backsplash. I think it's blue. Or like kind of turquoisey color. And then it has this like creamy tile detail. And I was kind of wanting to run with that because I liked the creaminess of it. Let's see, wait. Okay, so that creaminess, and I've actually been talking to her, and I actually found her a little rug to go in there as well. And it's like more of a neutral, creamy Turkish rug, so I think that would be really beautiful because it's so much wood and terracotta and very colorful backsplash. So I was like, let's hone in on this creaminess, that's what I want, to really just like kind of freshen up the space a little bit more. So that's the kitchen. And then in the living space, let's go over here. You kind of saw it a little bit, but you see it's like quite small. But over here you see there's like this like classic kind of like Spanish style mantle. Then you have like the wood cabinet over there. It looks like there's like a little loft up there as well. Okay, so here's like more straight on with the, I love all the windows in there and the vaulted ceiling and the beams. And I love this like natural element of the fireplace because the other tile is like not necessarily my style, and I don't think it's hers either. But it's a little bit busy and colorful, but I do like this natural like stone element on the inside. And I mean, if you keep things kind of neutral and just like kind of stay in line with the colors on there, I think you can't go wrong. But yeah, it's just like a really nice, light, colorful space. Let's see what this one, you can kind of see the tile better in this one. It's quite busy, but whoa, it's doing something crazy on the video. But so she already has this white couch in there as well, which I think works well in the space. So I think it just needs some more like, it needs to break up all the brown in the space a bit. So let's go to her Pinterest board. So I still wanted to stick with the Spanish style. So a lot of the like little like accent tables I think would be really nice in these like iron kind of style. Because Spanish style, I feel like you see a lot of iron. So I'm not going totally Spanish style because when I first saw it and knowing her as well, I was like, I want it to be like English cottage and maybe like a little French. And I think it can kind of be all those things. Of course, the fireplace kind of like dictates a lot. But I feel like you don't necessarily have to like pay too much attention to it because it will still work with all the things and not go so Spanish, you know. So I feel like that would be a good, you know, nod to the Spanish style, but it's still clean, kind of French little lines. And I also wanted to just bring in some more color. I mean, I don't think this is necessarily her style, but I just loved this little like side table, and I love the roll arm couch and that it's green, and you have like all these little like colorful moments, but then overall it's kind of quite natural as well. And so across from the couch, I wanted to see like roll arm chairs. 2 roll arm chairs I think would be really beautiful, or a settee, a little like couch on the other side. I think that's how you say it. And I just loved like, I don't think this is her style either, but just seeing like a little bit more pattern and gingham and like browns and greens and maybe like a little bit of pinks and blues, I think would be really beautiful. I think I would love to see like this dusty blue in that space. Again, I can't see the tile like so well, but I feel like this color could work in that. I see some oranges and blues and greens in it, and I think like that color would be really nice in the space across from the like creamy couch. I loved this shape of like a little couch across from the white couch. I love 2 couches. I think that's really nice, and I think that space can handle it. Especially because the ceilings are so like tall and our moment. I loved this one as well. The shape of it was really nice, and I feel like if you're going to see the back of a couch walking in, it would be nice to see that kind of like shape where it's not just a straight boxiness. Let's see, it would also be nice to see a day bed there across from the couch as well, which I've said in another video, but I just love that look. And I feel like if you need sightlines, if sightlines are really important there, then I feel like that's a perfect solution. Obviously, this one's kind of expensive, but just an idea, you know. I loved this couch. I loved this color blue. It's a low profile. It's so nice. I'm sure it's really expensive. So I saved a lot of, I loved this, and this is kind of the style I was going for in terms of like these chairs. I love these chairs with like little skirt and the like sagey green pillow detail, and then this couch with these like rolled like lumbar style pillows, and then these lamps with like more natural color pleated lampshades. I think that's so nice, and I think that she would really like it, and just kind of reminded me of the space as well. I love the creaminess with the like, I mean, these are brick floors, but like the terracotta color floors and the wood beams on the ceiling. I'm just obsessed with this couch. But this is like kind of what I was like envisioning for that style, but with the white couch she has, I feel like it works perfectly well. And then like lamps that are kind of that iron style, I think would be really nice. It could also be cool for like a coffee table to see like, it's kind of hard, these keep popping up, a little tufted ottoman that's like a plaid or a gingham with like some greens and stuff in it. I think that would be really pretty. And I loved this. I just thought that was really pretty. You could do something outside, because I saw a little bit of her patio like this. Bring in some color and some natural tones. Again, I think an ottoman could be really nice. And then I love this like blue roll arm chair, and I think you could get away with doing 2 of those across from the couch. I haven't found any specific ones to show you like that you could buy, but I'll be on the lookout. And then also here's another like with the, I just love this little detail of the iron. I feel like I showed that in Bella's space as well, but I really like that. Another thing that she was very excited about was cafe curtains, and you know I love some cafe curtains. So all of her windows in her space, she just wants to be cafe curtains, and I love that. The thing with cafe curtains is there's a few options you can do, whether you are planning on staying in the space for a long time or not. So there's these rejuvenation rods that you can get custom cut. You have to get them like the exact cut, because I messed up one time on ours, and they're really small, so they can go inside mount on the little frame of the window. And then you can get custom size made little curtain panels for them. Each rod I think is like $50. So if you have like a ton of windows, which you do, it might be kind of expensive if you're not planning on being there forever, or at least for a while. But if you don't mind, then do it. And then there's also the option of just these really thin tension rods that you won't see really because you'll have the curtain over it. And it's a cheaper solution that you can just kind of take wherever you go, because they can kind of like change sizes and whatnot. So you could easily do that. And then you could also get just a curtain, like a white linen curtain that you like, and cut it and have someone just sew the ends of it, or even maybe you could sew the ends, just to make it look a little bit more polished, or go really rough. I don't know, I did that on my last one because it was kind of covered, but don't do that. And just and just like cut where you want it on each of them, and then have someone like sew just the bottom. So those are the 2 options. And also I will link the rejuvenation rod, the little tension rod, and then also I can link the little like tiny brackets that go inside of the windows, and you can find a little rod to go with it as well, so that you're not doing like custom cut rods. But I think because she wants the privacy in this space without having to like cover the windows, I think cafe curtains would be really nice. And also you could do Roman shades as well, because I love Roman shades. So those are the 2 options you could kind of go with. Let's see. So I think that's, let me see. Yeah, so either chairs, settees, away from or like opposite of the couch, maybe like a tufted pattern ottoman or just a fabric, or you could go long kind of just rectangular wooden as well. As far as the rug in there, I know we had kind of discussed like maybe Nordic knots, something like that, but I do think like a creamy color rug would be really nice, or like more of a natural tone rug, because there's so much brown in there, with the floor, but I also did like this like dark brown rug, but it might be too dark, but it could be nice with the contrast of the white couch as well. So I feel like you could play around with that. I mean, jute is always nice with the white, but again, I was trying to stay away a little bit from so much brown in the space. Another thing with the white couch, I think you could bring in some like little lumbar pillows, like these like round bolt ones. You could bring in browns, baby blues, more natural tones, maybe some greens. I liked this green here, like gingham style plaids, stuff like that. And I just like this. I don't know why this, I like the like light blue and yellow. I feel like it needs just like a little like cutesy English Frenchy something, you know? And of course you can DM me and ask me anything, and I'll also send you some things as well. Okay, so back into the kitchen really quickly. One of the things that I feel like, or a few of the things that I feel like could be good, easy swap outs that would make the space just feel new and fresh and cute without doing too much, is changing out the knobs on the cabinets. Right now they look like kind of like iron, like twisted iron, and then also the light in the ceiling. We do not like that one. That looks like the boob light thing, but hung down a little bit, and she's not cute. So I think switching it out, both of those things, would be a game changer. So let me go to Etsy, and again, the amount of tabs I have is insane. Okay, so for the knobs, I had a few ideas. You could go, because I see you have poles and knobs, so you'll have to do a combination of both of those, because I'm pretty sure the poles probably have 2 holes, so you wouldn't want to go to just all knob. I kind of like, so first what I was thinking was these ceramic little creamy color knobs. Where are they? These ones here. I think these would be so cute with the wood. Bring in the creaminess of the kitchen, like small little tiles. I think that would be really cute. I love them. Or you could go wooden knob. That's kind of just like a similar color as the cabinets and just like a simple little shape. But I do like the creaminess of these knobs. I think that would be really cute. So then you could do creamy knobs, and then for poles, you could do like more brass poles. Because I think that you can do the ceramic and the antique brass together, but I would stick with like more antique brass just because you don't want anything like too shiny, because I feel like that wouldn't match the style of the space as much. I think I saved another, like this like kind of antique-y brass with more brown tones in it could be nice for poles, and then you do like little ceramic knobs on the rest that are like that creamy ceramic. And I did save those ones that I just showed you, but I also have other ones that are like cheaper and similar style ceramic little creamy knobs. I think that would be really cute. Okay, and then so you have the little table in your kitchen. It's just like a little dining table, and you have shown me it with like a little blue and white striped tablecloth on it, and I think that would be really, I love that, because it brings in some like, I don't know, feminine sweetness and some like texture, and I think that's really nice. So then I also did save a few just like little linen tablecloths. I think that's really nice, and this little like French style one, vintage, with like the little flower detail is really cute. But I do like a tablecloth on it. And then because you can't really hang a pendant over it, I feel like it just needs to be, it needs its own little light source. So then I was thinking a battery powered little lamp to go on the table, which I don't know if it would necessarily be this style, but something like that, to just make it feel like you're at a cute little chic restaurant, but then you get a little light source and it feels like really nice and polished. I think that would be really cute. And then for switching out the flush mount light in the kitchen, I saved something on your Pinterest that I think would be so cute, but it's very expensive. But this style, I think, with like that like antique brass and the like creamy, like, I love it. I think it's so cute. You could find something similar to this. Again, I can help you. It just takes time to hunt things down. Or you could go something more clean and like modern, like, let me find it. There was one from Cedar and Moss that I felt like could be cute in there. I wasn't like totally sold on it because I didn't know style-wise if it would work, but this one with like the white glaze, I think could be really nice in there. Let me show you in a kitchen space. Like that, hung down between the beams. I think that would be really pretty. But I think it would just be like, again, bringing in the creaminess again so that it takes away from all the wood and terracotta and like all that. So I think something like that would be nice. Or something like this pricey one that is like over $3,000. But also you could look on Urban Electric and just kind of like look through certain ones. They're expensive, but they like bring a lot of inspiration for looking at other places. And then just like other lamps, I think these would be really nice. I love the like, metal with like more of like a little pleated, interesting vintage little lampshade. That was very hard to remember the name of. I think like something like that, bringing those into your living space would be really nice, especially on that cabinet that's just like built in. I think a big mirror above it with some lamps and some books and cute little sculptures would be really nice. Yeah, this space really excites me. I think it would be cute so easily. Also, one other thing, I just loved this pedestal with like a little vase and flowers above or next to the fireplace. I think do something like that would be really cute. Again, I love the layering kind of vibe. Even this little like wood holder next to it, that's not the word of it, or that's not the name of it. Something like that would be really cute. Kind of just make the space feel established and thought about and layered, and that's my favorite. Yeah, I think that's all I can think of at the moment. I will tag and link everything down below, and when I find more items that I feel like you could actually buy that aren't crazy price, then I'll send them to you as well. For anyone as well who needs that, I can. And yeah, I'm gonna look through and see if I have any other notes for you. I think it would be cute when you walk into your kitchen, there's that little space next to the fridge where there's just like a wood panel. I think just like a little antique mirror or a little artwork would be really sweet there, which would be easy, But yeah, right, so what I was talking about, this cabinet here, I think a big mirror there, like a wooden frame mirror with a lamp and like all cute little books and goodies there would be really nice. And yeah, I think because I know when you showed me this space before, you had the dining table in the living room under this window here. But because I want you to have the chairs or the settee or something, I think it would be too tight of a squeeze. So I like that it's in the kitchen. I think that's nice. And then you just can kind of play around with different objects you can bring into the space that just make it feel more established. And I hope this helped like direction-wise. I know that you have like a pretty clear idea of your style, but just like kind of general like furniture layout, what I'm thinking, and obviously if you have any questions you can DM me, email me, whatever. And I think these spaces are going to be really cute, and if you have any questions let me know. And yeah, thank you for watching. Maybe I'll have some more of these. I'll let you guys know. I know some of you have been wanting to also send me some. I haven't gotten through all of them, but if you're wanting to send some, maybe I'll put some a little box back on my Instagram so you can email me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon.